Hi, my name is Justin Latimer, and I'm going to show you a multiplayer battle from a battle I fought in October 12th. If you recall the last video, it took place at Lombardy, and I was playing as the Turks, and in this one I am also playing as the Turks. I had fought against a Milanese cav spam, and this time I will be fighting against the Mongolian Horde. Yep, more cavalry. I said last time that army composition is really important, and it is, and as you can see, I have brought no spears this time. I have no infantry except for missile infantry. I was trying something new. And so I have 2 units of Janissary archers because I was very impressed with how well they handled the last battle, and 2 units of Janissary musketeers. My cavalry force composes of 2 units of Sipahi, lancers, and my bodyguard. And the reason why I didn't bring spears is I figured cavalry can do the same thing that I want my spears to do, which is protect against cavalry. I'll just use my cavalry against the opponent's cavalry. I also have Sipahi archers, which are the regular Turkish Sipahi cavalry. I have 2 units of 2 of them. 4 Sipahi overall. That's a lot of Sipahi. Most of the army here is Sipahi. Oh, and I have a cannon back here on this hill. And in the forest here, I have deployed my Janissary musketeers behind stakes. And behind them will be my Janissary musketeers, nicely hidden away in the forest back here. I made the map sunset just because it's pretty. And the battle has begun. I see my Mongolian opponent bringing a trebuchet up this way, so I can't tolerate that. I'm gonna have to send my Sipahi to do something. I send a sub unit of Sipahi out here to skirmish with the Mongol heavy horse archer. Forest isn't good for cavalry, but at the very least I can hide my movements. And I plan on ambushing this trebuchet. He's taking fire from my cannon right now. My Sipahi are now within range. And I am also within range of his dismounted archers here. Of course, I don't really want to sit around and take casualties. I have the element of surprise on my side. Why not charge? And initially, his trebuchet and his archers take a lot of damage. These men are shaken because they have seen the Mongolian army appear here, but the Mongolian opponent does not do anything. He does not move his infantry, he does not move his cavalry. He just allows me to retreat back into the woods. Thank you. The skirmishing over here, I didn't like how it was going, so I decided to pull back. There's another unit of Mongolian heavy archers hidden in the grass over here. So in the wake of that attack, the opponent marches his dismounted archers up towards my lines. opponent's general here. And so we get to see the first instance of how withering my fire is. These are my Janissary archers and Janissary musketeers tearing apart this unit of dismounted archers. Yes, I am hurting you. I've also brought a unit of Sipahi over to this flank so they could hit all sides of this unit. This unit isn't wearing any armor, so it is particularly vulnerable to missiles. I believe he was probably screening my defenses with it, which is a good move. This battle was very missile heavy. The battle also took a lot of turns during the fighting. There was the initial skirmish. That will be followed by my Mongolian opponent's first large assault. So in this attack he has 2 units of peasants, a unit of Khan's Guard, and dismounted archers. He's dedicating only a portion of his army to the attack, which is typically a good idea, but I am going to dedicate the full force of my army to defeat this small attack.
Our men are under attack. We must act now.
The extreme long range of my Janissary archers is able to hit these guys already. They've got quite a bit of hill to ascend too. I'm going to dedicate my cavalry to an attack here early on against the Khan's Guard and the peasants because there's nothing here that they're particularly weak against. My Sipahi Lancers are doing pretty well. The Mongolian Khan's Guard is a very good unit, but against 2 units of Sipahi Lancers and my bodyguard, it's not going to hold up. And so it breaks. And there goes the Khan's Guard and 2 units of peasants. And so now he's attacking with another wave. Peasants who are already shaken, dismounted heavy lancers, spear militia, Khan's Guard, dismounted light lancers, bodyguard. I have no infantry. I have no spears. I have nothing to combat those. So for me, the battle is very much about making the right moves at the right time. It's like a well-choreographed dance. Some of my Sipahi were just hit by the bombard that the Mongolian opponent has there. He didn't get much use out of it because a lot of its shots ended up just hitting this hill. I've redeployed my Janissary muskets to be behind the enemy, up on this hill back here. I'm also moving 2 units of Sipahi to deal with the Mongol heavy archers that he has back here. I'm getting ready for another attack. And there we go, that unit of Khan's Guard is broke. Back up the hill. I need to keep the enemy running along as much as I can. My Janissaries are no longer redeploying, they're now able to fire again. So the Janissary muskets will be opening fire into the back of this unit soon. I need to kill these spears. General's bodyguard here is getting close to my lines. I'm going to attack. This unit of spears is running now, as is this unit of light lancers.
Time our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
I'm pulling back up the hill here. I didn't like how things were going with my Sipahi lancers. They can be a little bit brittle, especially when compared to heavy Mongolian cavalry.
Men are under attack. We need to act. Half the enemy force remains. We must pray they lose their will to fight.
If you look at the percentages here, 60% of the enemies have been killed and only 15% of my army has been killed. I'm going to charge my Sipahi into this unit of exposed archers and peasants, because I just need to rout enemies now. I just need to get them off the field. These units of Sipahi lancers, heavy lancers that is, I charge the back of these spearmen in order to get them to run too. I've moved my Janissary musketeers. I'm moving them back behind the archers now. My cannon is now out of ammunition. It's been firing throughout the battle. Janissary archers hard at work. I can win this fight against these Mongol heavy horse archers, so I'm going to charge my Sipahi into them. I got intercepted by a few peasants here who break. I have 4 units of Sipahi archers in this area. Sipahi horse cavalry.
Victory is well within our grasp. In time our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
The general, Mongolian general, has moved back up in this direction, so I'm going to attempt to surround him and destroy him, get rid of him. I let him take quite a bit of fire from my archers and my musketeers. And then I send in my cavalry to charge, and that's when the musketeers get their volley off. While I'm fighting the general here, I have some Sipahi take down these archers and these Mongol heavy horse archers. He has somehow managed to escape this melee here, but he's going to end up getting sandwiched between these two units. He takes down a lot of my men in his attack. Pretty impressive general. Ultimately, though, his morale isn't going to hold up.
The enemy general flees like an old woman. Attack and break the will of his men.
These Sipahi are chasing after these archers who are still fighting. And there's an important lesson. Don't run when I have so many missiles. I wasn't really paying attention to this fight down here anymore, so I accidentally pulled these men off. I shouldn't have done that. It will end up prolonging the battle for a little bit, but it won't really matter at this point. This unit of archers running into the woods is the only unit left to fight. So let's take a look at the map here. Now here's some General's bodyguard unit who didn't make it too far. A lot of fighting took place around this tree. And up around here. A lot of the early battle went on up here. And so let's take a look at my units, what's left of them. I have 12 Sipahi Lancers here. The General's unit is looking pretty good, 18 units.
Great victories are like sweet nectar. Come, let us drink of the most rare and glorious
14
fruit.
Sipahi Lancer, 9 Sipahi. And here we are with the statistics. Men deployed 521 against 821. Men lost for me 118. Men lost for my opponent 776. Men remaining 403 for me, 45 for my opponent. Enemies killed, I killed 776 men. However you say that. F. He killed 127 of my soldiers. Sipahi Lancers, one unit took down 73 men. One unit of Sipahi took down 76 men. The other took down 82. 32 for another unit of Sipahi, 61 for another unit. 90 kills for my Janissary Musketeers, 57 for the other unit of Janissary Musketeers, 53 kills for this unit of Janissary Archers, 76 for the other unit, and 37 for my cannon. And I would say that this composition worked pretty well. I was pretty petrified when I found out I was going to be fighting against the Mongols. I didn't want to move much, you might have noticed. But as the battle went on, I felt more and more confident that I was going to win this, and not only that, I was going to win it pretty well. I didn't need any spears. If I had brought some, it would have been a wasted unit. And the last battle I had, the Saracen Militia didn't hold up really well. They're a great spear unit, but if you need a spear as the Turks, I would recommend the dismounted Sipahi Lancers, which are kind of pricey. But with the budget constraint that this battle had, I think I made a pretty good decision. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will have more videos soon.